Rumors and hoaxes, they're like the backbone to any franchise. Well, actually, they're probably more like the crotch. But whatever body part they might metaphorically represent, people sure do get a kick out of spreading, creating, and fooling people with hoaxes. So yeah, the crotch. Today I'd like to look at all the hoaxes and rumors from the Super Smash Bros. Franchise in the second episode of Hoaxtacular. I couldn't find the box for Melee, and the Smash 64 is kind of inside my Wii. The main area I want to discuss first is everyone's favorite type of hoax in Smash Bros, the characters. Every installment since the original has had its fair share of fake character unlockables, so we'll start with Smash 64. For a while, there was what I can only imagine became an infamous playground rumor detailing how to unlock Master Hand. By doing something as simple as spinning the control stick 30 times on the character select screen, Master Hand would become unlockable. Or not. There is a glitch in Super Smash Bros. Melee that allows you to control Master Hand, and of course Game Shark codes make him playable, but nothing else in Smash 64 will. Metal Mario, Giant Donkey Kong, and the fighting polygons were also said to be unlockable, but require a much more specific set of steps, which includes beating Classic Mode on very hard with one stock, with every character in a precise order. And that does it for Smash 64 hoaxes. There aren't really a whole lot of things to talk about since the game isn't as full as some of the other installments in the series, so let's jump right into the golden era of hoaxes for the series, Super Smash Bros. Melee. Melee is home to my personal favorite hoaxes from the series, mostly because these images have become classics in the realm of fake things, and the malicious intent to fool people is all there. The most infamous hoax during this era was Electronic Gaming Monthly's Sonic in Melee. Back in 2002, the magazine ran an April Fool's Day article telling readers that if they could achieve 20 KOs in Cruel Melee, it would unlock Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails as playable characters. After many players were able to achieve the KO requirement, they were met with a much disappointing result, which was no blue hedgehog or orange fox on their character select screen. Well, I mean, I guess Fox is an orange fox, but technically he was already there and isn't from the Sonic franchise. Come on! This hoax soon became one of the most infamous hoaxes in all of gaming, and even to this day is still joked about due to how obviously fake it is nowadays, while back in the day it seemed totally legit. Electronic Gaming Monthly also rewarded copies of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle to all players who could prove they achieved the 20 KOs in Cruel Melee, probably so that they didn't seem like dirtbags and so that all the people they fooled would still continue to read their magazine. Even I remember trying to do this, but luckily I admitted defeat before I became too involved or obsessed. Pretty much the last Melee hoax, though not as widely circulated as Sonic, is Toad. Now, the reason why I like this one so much is because some random dude made it up, and it's so classic to see self-edited images perpetuated as being real. GeoCities used to be a site sort of like Wikipedia, except instead of building articles, anyone could build their own web pages and host whatever they wanted on their own GeoCity page. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, there were a lot of Nintendo-themed pages, and one in particular described how Toad could be unlocked as a character by shooting all the end credits and subsequently clearing Adventure Mode. Convincing screenshots were provided, and since everything about hoaxing in the internet was still relatively new, this seemed totally legit for its time. However, it was soon discovered that Toad isn't a character in the game, but occasionally you'd find details on how to unlock him on various GameSpot-esque websites. So let's jump straight into Brawl now, and unfortunately this is when the creativity that people put into their hoaxes and rumors kind of dwindled a little bit. There's a lot of minor, more niche rumors that never really amounted to anything, just rumblings around the internet or vague speculation that would lead people to believe one thing or another. Probably the most interesting hoax was deliberate misinterpretations of assist trophy characters during one of the first Brawl demos in Japan, with reports claiming Rosalina, Duster, and Muddy Mole were included as such. More likely than not, these were actually Gardevoir, Jeff, and Mr. Rossetti, but to think these characters were the characters people confused them with is hilarious to think about and leads me to believe they did it on purpose. But the bevy of fake character rumors aren't all that interesting compared to the last two games. There are some unverified statements from Sakurai that claim Animal Crossing characters were considered at one point. Mega Man was speculated to be included in Brawl due to his popularity at the time, and unverified statements from Sakurai that suggested there may have been a third-party character after Sonic and Snake, as well as another Sonic character was speculated to be included. The most interesting character rumor is probably that of Geno. People once speculated that Nintendo had been in negotiations with Square Enix to include him as a character, which if you think about the third-party rumor from before, this makes sense. Additionally, with the random select box being a completely new element to the series, and with it located underneath the other third-party characters, it could be a cover-up to hide the fact that Geno was prevented from joining the Brawl. Also consider that a song which is commonly associated with Geno was made, but cut from the game. Unrelated to character rumors, people once thought that there would be DLC for the game due to the unused character files in the game's code. People once thought Brawl was the last Smash Bros. Game,
for the Brawl to end them all.
and people thought that there was an artificial intelligence within the CPU opponents that analyzed and adapted to the player's fighting style. This was later proven false as well. And finally, here are some rumors and hoaxes from the most recent Smash Bros. Installments on both the 3DS and the Wii U. There are a lot of fake images that began circulating for Smash 4 dating as far back as 2013 and as most recently as this year. Starting with the oldest hoax is an image of Lucina fighting Mario on a fairy isle from Wind Waker, posted to the website Brawl in June of 2013. While it wasn't very widespread or necessarily believed for long, it did set the precedent to consider and compare Brawl hacks to any future Smash 4 leaks, and I'm sure the original faker felt like he had an influence in Lucina's inclusion in Smash 4. Just like I'll feel like I had an influence in Metroid Dread seeing the light of day if it's actually revealed at E3 this year. Later on in 2013, two more images of Ness and Jigglypuff surfaced, along with really convincing qualities to make it look like the picture was actually taken directly from the game, and I know I fell for this one when I first saw it. Of course, with circulation comes scrutiny, and later on someone did a really great job comparing the image in question with an official image from the game, where it was later believed Ness and Jigglypuff were fake, as it turned out to be in these pictures. Palutena had a similar occurrence as well, with fake images of her and Mario circulating the internet. While they were immediately questioned like everything else involving leaks, there was a lot of aspects about the images that made people believe they were real, such as the models looking completely original and no Brawl hacks that could match the images, as in Lucina's case. Even after Nintendo revealed Palutena at E3 later the same year, people still weren't sure if these were fake until the original faker admitted that he made them himself. Getting back to the assist trophies, during the E3 2014 demo, people reported seeing a Chunky Kong assist trophy. While there was video evidence of previously unconfirmed assists, no pictures or video evidence for Chunky Kong ever surfaced at the time, making people question whether or not he was real. Later on, it was widely regarded that his existence was fake until Chunky became a meme similar to Bigfoot, and eventually the original faker admitted to making it up to catch any fake leaks, but also to see how many people would parrot an outlandish claim. The whole thing seems so strange to me considering some of the other characters he could have chosen to say were in the game. Shortly before the game release, there was also a stupid Tower of Smash mode and a boss mode that the fake leaker put way too much thought into for it to be murdered by a Smash Direct shortly after, and it was commonly believed for a long time that connecting both versions together would give you new characters on the spot, like Ridley. Most of these were taken with a grain of salt anyway. And finally, we've made it to the last Smash 4 hoax. This one actually leaked earlier this year, back in February to be precise, and it pretty much took everyone by surprise. I bet everybody will recognize these infamous images depicting Rayman as incoming DLC for Smash 4. Aside from the perfect setup for the hoax such as posting to 4chan and removing the original YouTube video to generate suspicion and interest, the images themselves demonstrate entirely legitimate looking and original artwork combined with a flawless video of the character select screen with Rayman in it, as well as Mewtwo, who was announced at that point. This could have been the greatest Smash hoax in the history of Smash hoaxes, but the original creator admitted to creating everything himself only a few hours later. And that pretty much does it for hoaxes in the Super Smash Bros. Franchise. There actually was a really funny and interesting rumor for Smash 6, if you can believe that, which was essentially a recruitment advertisement from Namco Bandai looking for programmers. Shortly after it was posted, it was taken down, and since most of the details like a 6th Smash Bros. Game releasing this year seemed so unrealistic it just couldn't be true. And with that said, I'm out of hoaxes for this episode. So until the next video, I'm LSuperSonicQ, thank you for watching, Finn. Hey guys, thanks a ton for watching this video, and if you liked it, I can assure you the subscribe button likes the click of your mouse. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones down here. They're full of other hoaxes and some of my art, cause that's what I do.